Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm breaking out. The struggle of having a beard. Anyways, don't touch it. I'm gonna go, I'm excited. One, that Pat McGrath is releasing bronzers finally, which is exciting. But I figured I'd go through my stuff I have because I do want some bronzers, but I really, really don't. But I do, and I shouldn't. But let me get my stuff ready and we'll kind of compare of what I have, maybe some things you guys already have, with the new collection dropping at the end of the month. Actually, I think a week and a half, 10 days or something like that. I don't even know what today is. I think today is the 21st. I don't know. Let me get my stuff ready and we'll get right into it. All right, so I went ahead and moved over a little bit because I'm probably going to post the pictures and do comparison swatches like this or something like that. But I figured I go into what I have and kind of compare to if I have something similar. Obviously, her formulation is amazing. If it's the same formulation as the blushes, then I am really excited for this. I really want, I don't need, but I want to get one or two or three bronzers. I don't need to. There is no point, but I want to. Um, I think there's 8 of them, and it seems like 4 of them are more neutral tone bronzers, and then the other 4 are more warm bronzers. The two that I'm heavily interested in is going to be Nude Honey, and that is described as a neutral bronzer, I believe. I'm just going off of memory here. And the second one is Bronze Nirvana, which is a tanned bronze, tan warm something. Um, there are some bundles going on her website that I've seen, the duos that you could get 2 bronzers. I'm curious if you could actually create your own duo, and I would actually do more of the Nude Honey and the Bronze Nirvana. Because I think the Bronze Nirvana is actually combined with Dawn Bronze, and then the one after that is Desert Something, which has some golden pearl, and I think that one is going to be kind of based off of kind of like what Guerlain had, where they had a little bit of like a golden pearlescence in it to give a little bit more of a glow, as well as being bronze. But those are the 2 out of the 8 that I'm heavily interested in, because I might do the duo, maybe, unless we get it in Douglas and they launch it accidentally before they take it off, just like the Love Collection. But I am heavily interested going into summer here in the Netherlands of doing more of the Bronze Nirvana and maybe Dawn Bronze. But I would like to get one bronzer that I would be using for all year for my looks, because I'm the collector in me really wants to buy at least 4 of them, just in case I do looks with models and I could actually tag Pat McGrath in there and use it and just stay relevant. But I'm trying not to go that route, and I'm trying to do more of what I do have and use that on a daily basis. So first off, my all-time favorite bronzer that I still continuously use, and it reminds me a little bit of Nude Honey. I don't know in person if it's completely different because it's more of a neutral bronze, but it actually kind of reminds me of Hoola. Hoola is still one of my go-to, still to this day, very neutral bronzers, very buildable. And the biggest thing I noticed with Hoola in person, it really looks more natural, and it looks like something that could be worn on a daily basis, which I love. So there's the Hoola. I mean, this is such a classic. Even when I got into makeup 20 years ago and this was introduced, like, it was still my go-to no matter what. But this one, oh, this is, by the way, the cheerleader cheek squad that I still have. And then there's the Hoola Caramel, which is, you could definitely tell that this is definitely more of that warm, maybe orange. And that is the biggest thing I'm really afraid of with these Pat McGrath bronzers, is how warm they will be. I hope they're not too orange or too red, because for some reason those more orangey red type of bronzers on me just do not look flattering at all. They make me tend to look a little oompa loompa and like I got burnt. So, but these are the caramel and the Hoola. So you can really tell the difference. So that's the Hoola, and this is the caramel. More neutral. This is like a neutral warm, and this is definitely more of a neutral gold or neutral orange. So those are those. And I'm very curious as to how these compare to the Nude Honey and more of that Bronze Nirvana, maybe even Dawn Bronze. But I know on the website it says that they are very buildable, so I'm curious about that, of how intense you can build up these bronzers. Because if that's the case, then I think the Nude Honey will work year round for me pretty well. But we shall see if that's the case. Next, I figured why not go into Charlotte Tilbury. I have the medium and then the tan. So this is the medium, which I could probably get away. And you can tell this is more of a neutral. And then the tan is going to be more of, definitely more my summer. If I get bronzed enough. So you can really see those differences. Let me do this. So this is the medium. The formulation of this is just so beautiful. But I think I bought these before I moved to the Netherlands just so I could have in my kit, aka my collection, my clutter of things. So this is the 10. Oh no, this is the medium. So I feel like medium will be great for more of that light. Yeah, more of that light. It kind of reminds me of the Dawn Bronze kind of. And then this is the tan, which is definitely going to be more of, this actually looks a lot more red than I remember. Perfect. So the medium and the tan. Perfect. Okay, now compared to the tan, the medium does look really neutral, which is nice. I was a little worried about that. But yeah. And then I know I have her face palette as well, the Nude Glowgasm, which I do love a lot, and I've used it quite a bit in my, I forgot what look I did. But obviously these are definitely more for sculpting. Soft Sculpt and, what is this? Soft Sculpt and Super Sculpt. But I actually did use this more as a bronzer on me, so even if you combine these two together, they're very, very nice. I mean, the Soft Sculpt, you could add a little bit more of a foundation, and then you could just really amp up a little bit more of a precise contour line with this if you wanted to. So there are those also that I have. Do I have anything from? No. Next will be Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty really did change the game of coming out with, I think it was first 8 bronzers they came out with, and then they added the 9th one, which I think is Thick Mint, I believe it's called. But in the Netherlands, we don't have a Sephora, so we don't have access to Fenty Beauty. But I do, however, have 3. I have Islanding Caramel Cutie, which was like my living in Vegas. It was my go-to, and then Coco Naughty. So, Islanding I actually can use now, which you could tell is more of that neutral yet golden, which is really nice. Next is Caramel Cutie, which is really more neutral. Actually, let me compare it. So, Islanding, get it together, Cyrus. Islanding, Caramel Cutie, and then the last one I have is going to be Coco Naughty, which I actually used for a shoot a while ago on a model, which I'll probably post up here. But he actually wore this, and then you can really see the difference. One, he was already tan, beautiful complexion, so it just really enhanced all of that. But so you can really tell this is a little bit more golden, this is more neutral, and this has more of that red. And Islanding kind of reminds me a little bit of, I'd say, Bronze Dawn, maybe, because it really has that golden, but I don't know, because I know the saturation and the way they edit the pictures on Pat McGrath's website are very heavily more colored than they are in real life. So this is the Caramel Cutie, Islanding, last but not least, Coco Naughty, which is gorgeous. So these, you can really tell the difference, especially with my skin tone, you can really see the difference. So, has a little bit more of a golden than neutral, and you can really see more of that red. I'm hoping Bronze Nirvana is more like this, which has more of that neutral aspect to it. So, yeah. That is the Fenty Beauty one I have. Fenty Beauty bronzers I have. I also have some classic Becca. Anybody remember this one? So the bronzer in this one I really do love. Gosh, what was the bronzer called in this? Malibu Soleil, which is this one. Still love that blush. And the highlighter in here was rose gold and beach nectar. We're not talking about highlighters. So this is Malibu Soleil from this palette. Chrissy Teigen. This was such a great palette. And the collaboration was perfect. So, Malibu Soleil. Actually, let me add a little bit more. There we go. So the Malibu Soleil. This is really beautiful. Next, I have, I don't know, this one. This is the Sun Beach palette. No, the Sun Chaser palette, which has a bronzer, blush, and highlight. So, this one I also loved. This is a Panama Sunset, the Apricot Blossom, and then the Opal highlighter, which is really nice. But the bronzer, you can tell, like, I've been using this one quite a bit. And this one is just so good. And Becca is one of those brands that really had a beautiful, warm undertone to a lot of their deeper bronzers, which I really admire. But you can tell that it has a little bit more red, and this one's more of a little bit neutral, just a little bit. Now, the bronzers in this one, the Chloe and Malika, I actually did buy both. I didn't need to. Oh, let's just saw the reflection on the mirror. Oh, so this one is the Cocoa Bronzer, which I believe is for Chloe. I don't remember. This one. This formulation is very beautiful. Yeah, this is definitely more for the fair to light. And this actually might be pretty close to the, what is it, Nude Honey, I think, is the first one in the Pat McGrath. So, Cocoa Bronzer. That may show up on me, maybe. I doubt it. But yeah. Now this is the Malika, which is the Bestie Bronze. Oh yeah, you can see what I'm doing. It's my setup. So this one is a little bit more red. I believe it's a lot more. This is going to be my first time swatching it. So, Bestie Bronzer. Oh yeah, that definitely looks more neutral red. Oh, that's more orange. I'm not a big fan of orange on me. And that is my biggest worry with the Pat McGrath ones, is that they are going to come out a lot more warm. So yeah. Here is, what was the first one? Yeah, Malibu Soleil, Impana Sunset, Cocoa Bronze, and the Bestie Bronze. So you guys can really see the difference. I'd say fair to light, light to medium, medium to tan, and maybe tan. That's about it. So yeah, let me go and wash off my arms, and we'll talk about the quad next. So, it's not a Pat McGrath release without a quad and like blushes and a whole plethora of the whole freaking line. But the quad, I am hesitant about getting. I don't need to get it. I don't need another eyeshadow quad, because I still have quads that I have not even touched yet from Pat McGrath, let alone quads from other brands that I had. But it does remind me a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury, the Goddess of Glow, Goddess of Bronze, Goddess of Glow. I think it is the Goddess of Glow. I'll actually put them both up here. It reminds me a bit of that, but like I said, the editing and saturation that they have on the website is so heavy that, and when you get it in person, it's like completely different. It says it's a charcoal matte, and I'm kind of curious if it's more of a cool tone charcoal or warm tone charcoal. But it also reminded me of, I think it was the holiday release from 2020 or 2019, or was it 2020? Or was it 2021? It had the mink something in that quad. I know it had Fire on Mars or something like that in there, and it also had that fuchsia, that really beautiful fuchsia quad or color. Actually, I'll put it up here. That brown reminds me of that. Also, with the Love Collection release, it reminds me a bit of Velvet Liaison, the deep brown in that one, and then a little bit more of that oranges type of matte in there as well. But it also reminds me a little bit of Sublime Seduction because of all those bronzes and glitter. I feel like the special shade in this one is really what's going to be the selling point to try to push this quad, and I think it's more of an eyeshadow topper. So I'm not too sure about that, obviously, because I don't have it. I'm pretty sure some people out there have it, and they probably can't release it yet. Or if they're on the PR list, that's amazing, and they could get their hands on it earlier. But it's one of those quads that the only thing that's really new is probably that special shade, and I feel like that's the cash grab for a lot of people to get it because of the actual special shade, which is that gold, and it's more almost like a yellow gold, and I have some yellow golds like that. Plus Pat McGrath does have a lot of that type of gold, yellow gold, but I kind of feel like this is going to be an eyeshadow topper compared to, oh, what was it, Bridgerton collection, the diamond of the first water, I think, that astral gold blue, and then the second one has that astral like rose gold topper, and I kind of feel like it's going to be kind of like that type of texture, I hope, and I think that would be really beautiful. But actually going on to the Instagram page where they actually showcased the quad, and they had it on the model, and the makeup artist was putting it on, even though it was already down. I kind of feel like the two mattes in there almost seem a little bit more cooler like that. So that's why I'm kind of saying the saturation on the website looks a little bit different from what was on the video, but also there was a filter over it, so you can never really tell with Pat McGrath. And that's another thing. So the quad is actually something I'm like, I do and I don't. I don't need it, but I want it just to have it and just to maybe do a look later on to showcase it. Now, the blush, Divine Rose 3, which I know was showcased in holiday of, what year is it? 23? 22? I think it was the more, because there was a nude one and then there was more of a vibrant one. And I think it was in a vibrant one the Divine Rose 3 was showcased in. Was it? I don't remember. But anyways, Divine Rose 3 has already been brought out, but now it's actually a single. It does remind me a bit of Divine Rose 2. If you mix them together or if you use them separately, I kind of feel like you get the similar color. But when blended out on the cheeks, you really can't tell a difference, to be quite honest. Besides, if you actually do a tutorial and a video on it, then you can actually see that, okay, Divine Rose 3 has been used. I could do a look, find something similar, saturate the photo, and actually just say it was Divine Rose 3. You would never know. But I know the Nude Venus 2 that came out in holiday. On the website, it looked more like it was more of a mauvey, nudie, like lighter pink. But then in person, when I saw a lot of, especially Alicia, I love to watch a lot of her videos. When she swatched it, it was actually a lot more vibrant than what I saw on the website. And it had a little bit more of a, almost like a duochrome shift to it, which was very beautiful. So that's why I'm curious as to how coral or warm or pink that this will look in real life without the saturation on the website. I have Divine Rose 1, I have Divine Rose 2. I would get it just to have 1, 2, and 3, but I have no need for it in all honesty, because I know a lot of the duos are kind of like, once you blend them out, they're kind of looking the same, to be quite honest. Now the lip trio, which I wanted, I don't need it. If they did a mini, I would actually get it. I know for holiday they did a mini Divine Rose. It was the lip liner, the satin lip, I think, no, or the lip tint, I think it was, and then the lip gloss. So the lip gloss and the lip liner have already been out. The matte trance lipstick is what is new, which I am excited about because I do love that formulation. But it's a coral nude, I think it's what it's described as. And like I said, on the website, it looks completely different. I don't know what it looks like in person, especially with my lip color. I don't know how well. Maybe it will match more of like right in the middle. That's what I'm thinking of. But overall, this is a beautiful collection. Bronzers finally, and I kind of feel like they brought this out just to bring people back into the brand. Because what we had our holiday collection, Star Wars collection, and then our love collection. So many collections recently just dropped out of nowhere, for out of the blue. I would say not for a reason, but I mean they need their money. Great cash grabs. But I feel like a lot of people have been kind of steering away from the brand, and then this was kind of like a way to bring them back in, which is a great marketing aspect to do because people have been asking for bronzers for quite a few years now. What the Divine Rose blushes came out, and there was no bronzers. The year after that, the duo bronze or the duo blushes came out. Nobody was asking for that. And then we had the blush palettes for holiday 2021, which was two blushes and a highlighter, which was beautiful. Still no bronzers. And I think it was a great build up and a great way to keep the buzzness going about the brand a little bit and talking about we need bronzers, we want bronzers, it's about time. And then last holiday, it was the face palettes with the four blushes and then the one highlighter. So I think it was a great build up and a great way to, a smart way to bring people back into the brand. Because now I think a lot of people are wanting more brow products, which I would not be surprised if we get a bunch of other releases of things we don't want or ask for, and then we finally get the brow products, and then that's a great way to bring people back into the brand. And as far, maybe there will be an extension into the skincare line, maybe a moisturizer next or eye cream, who knows. But I feel like there's a lot of new things coming our way from the brand, which is exciting. I am a huge lover of her work from since the 90s. I've been following a lot of Pat McGrath work even to this day, and it's just really cool to see how much her brand has become more whole and how it's translatable not only from runway but also what you could do in real life on a day-to-day basis. But you can really amp it up with those special shades and stuff like that. You have the mothership palettes, the mini mothership palettes, you have quads, you have the 5 pans now. It's quite interesting to see what the brand has been doing and playing around with and giving a lot of different ways of introductions to the brand, because some of those palettes are not cheap. Neither is her foundation. I think it's like 72 euros, 73 euros here in the Netherlands, so that's a big buck. But I am also excited for the holiday this year to see if she's going to maybe release a face palette with all the warm bronzers and then a face palette with all the neutral bronzers, or two blushes, a bronzer, and a highlighter, or two bronzers, two blushes, and a highlighter. So there are so many different ways for holiday. I'm kind of curious as to what it is going to be, but also would it also be a waste of money to buy bronzers now and then come holiday we get face palettes with nothing but bronzers or new bronzers that weren't in this collection, which she has done quite often of these face palettes. She releases the singles first and then, oh my gosh, why didn't I wait for this? Which is very smart because a lot of people have bought those face palettes just for that one new special shade or a combination of shades, but also to bring people into the brand, which is smart. I'm not gonna lie. But holiday will be interesting this year to see if we will go more face or more eyes, because I feel like the last 3 holidays, the Mega Mothership palettes have been really nice. I bought the last two, not the first one. So I feel like this year might be more focused on face, which would be really beautiful, and doing more face bundles, foundation, blush, all of that. Now you have bronzers, and maybe there might be more skincare coming out this year. So I feel like this was a great way to bring people back into the brand for the love of Pat McGrath, and also just to get a tease of what is next to come from Mother, because she's always listening and she always delivers. So I feel like brow products are the next thing, and maybe even like a setting spray, venturing off more into makeup or skincare. And I don't know, I'm kind of curious as to what is going to be coming down the line. So we shall see. Those are my thoughts. Um, we'll see if I could get anything. I don't need anything. As you guys can see from all the bronzers, there's like, it's, I would only get it just to have Pat McGrath bronzer and to say I'm wearing Pat McGrath, really, in all honesty. Love you guys. See you next video, and have a great day. Yeah.